Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, David here, and welcome back to another video. I have a lot of videos planned in the near future. I'm gonna talk about Switch 2 and more ATLUS stuff, Persona 4 Revival. Persona 3 Reload, of course, was just announced yesterday during the partner showcase Nintendo Direct. ATLUS showed up with one game and one game only, and that was Persona 3 Reload. Now, I don't want to get into the whole direct thing today. I want to focus on Persona 3 Reloads. Of course, yesterday, being the ATLUS news guy, I immediately dropped an ATLUS news episode with some of the information that we already had. And now, we have more information. We have way more information. We have pricing details, different editions of the game, release date, what type of game you're buying with this one. Are you getting a physical, digital, a game key card, etc.? We can go all over that. The DLC expansion pass, how much is that? Can you buy that separately or not? Frame rate and resolution has been part of the discussion as well. We do have information on that, so I'm going to go over all the information that I could find that you need to know before you decide to purchase Persona 3 Reload on Nintendo Switch 2. So let's get into it. So first of all, Persona 3 Reload is already out on all platforms but Switch and Switch 2. Persona 3 Reload is indeed going to launch on Switch 2. So if you have a Nintendo Switch 1, you're not going to have any type of way to play this one. You have to upgrade to Switch 2 to be able to play Reload. I'm immediately going to jump into pricing details. The game is set to release when it comes to Switch 2 in October, on October 23rd to be more precise. And when it comes to pricing, the game launched at 7. I'm going to use US currency, right? Just so you know. Persona 3 Reload launched at 70 USD on all platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And that's where I got it. Initially, I do have my PS5 Collector's Edition. When it comes to Switch 2, the game's launching at 60 for the standard version, so it's $10 cheaper than on other platforms. That being said, I just want to give a warning to y'all. If you are interested in playing Persona 3 Reload and you own other systems than the Switch 2, just note that regular price on other platforms is $70, $60 on Switch 2, but it is constantly on sale on other platforms. Like, I think it's $35 or $40 right now on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, so just keep that in mind. If you want to save a little bit of money, you might be better off on other platforms. But if you want that portable factor, at least the MSRP is $10 less on Switch 2 for the standard version. The standard version, you have two choices. You have a digital version, you purchase on the eShop, you're set. Or you have a physical version, which unfortunately is one of those shitty game key cards. So just know what you're getting into. Sega and ATLUS, they're not too sure what they're doing right now, right? When we got the initial Switch 2 launch, every Sega game and ATLUS game was a game key card. So Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Raido Remastered, Puyo Puyo, and no matter the size of the game key card. And a game key card is, yes, a physical box with a physical cart, but there's nothing on the cart except a license that allows you to download the game. So at the end of the day, if the game's 30 gigabytes, which I think it's around 40 for Reload on Switch 2, you are downloading it no matter where you're getting it. So how either you get it digital or physical, you have to do the full game download. So just keep that in mind. There's no real standard physical version for Reload. It is a game key card, unfortunately. That was confirmed. The game is up for pre-order in at multiple retailers. Okay, so you have 60 for those versions. When it comes to Reload, you have two other options. You can either get the Digital Deluxe Edition, which comes with a digital art book, a digital soundtrack, costumes for your characters in-game, cosmetics, stuff like that, but no substantial additional content, right? So that is $10 extra at 70 USD. So if you compare that to when it launched in February of last year on other platforms, you're getting all that crap for the same price as what we paid back in February of 2024 last year on other platforms. Now, if you want the full Persona 3 Reload experience and you want to have the additional content, the DLC that is actually substantial with episode Aigis, or if you are an older Persona fan, The Answer, which is an epilogue to Persona 3. I'll be honest, The Answer, this is not a review of The Answer. That being said, I did review it, so check it out in my, the link's going to be in the video description if you want to hear my thoughts on that. But The Answer is kind of like, the community's mixed. Persona fans are kind of mixed on it. I highly recommend before buying this $90 digital premium digital edition. $90 and you get everything basically. So that is a digital premium edition pack, or you can buy the expansion pass for 30 USD separately. Before you do that, I highly recommend you check out what the answer actually is and whether or not you want to get into that. It's better than what it was in the PS2 in my opinion, especially in the gameplay side of things, but it's still kind of So before you spend that money, spend it however you want. Obviously it's your money. I would look into it to see if it's worth getting there or not. So just to recap everything, standard version, digital physical game key card, 60, digital deluxe, which comes with the art book and a digital soundtrack and cosmetics, that's 70, and for 90 you have everything. So what's included in the digital deluxe, and the answer, the episode Aigis as well, which goes for 30 separately. So you're not getting a deal if you get the whole package. Basically, if you get the standard version and you purchase the expansion pass for 30, you're paying 90. So there's no deal either way. So just wait. I would wait for a sale. Buy the game, and if once you're done, you're ready for episode Aigis, well then maybe the expansion pass is going to be on sale. Who knows? No collector's edition is announced, so there's no like big figure or anything. I do have a collector's edition on PS5, which came with an Aigis figure, an art book, and everything. That's not an option on Nintendo, or at least it's not announced yet. I don't expect it. I would be really surprised if there is some sort of collector's edition. And when it comes to resolution and frame rate, that caused a lot of discussion online, because if you look at the trailer, it runs at 30 frames per second, but every trailer was at 30 frames per second in that presentation. The presentation itself was at 30 frames per second. If you go over to, it's going to be, all my sources for all my videos are always linked in the video description, so you can go and see for yourself. Friend of the channel, Nathan, did find on the Nintendo Chinese website, so the official Nintendo China website, there is a Persona 3 Reload page. Okay, and if you translate that to English, there is basically the description of the game, which goes as follows. For some reason, the young protagonist transferred to Gekukan Academy's high school, located on an artificial island in Minato-ku. A few days after moving into the student dormitory, he is attacked by a mysterious monster. During this attack, the young man unexpectedly awakens his hidden psychic power known as Persona. He joins the Special Extracurricular Activities Club, or SEAS, as a group of individuals with similar Persona abilities, and together with his friends confronts the mysteries of the world. Persona 3, a turning point in the incredibly popular Persona series, has been extensively renovated by P Studio and revived for the latest gaming platforms. While retaining the original storyline and characters, this game has undergone numerous detailed adjustments, including improvements, playability, and an updated interface. The game system has been made even more accessible. And here it is, the interesting part, quote, the graphics are optimized for the latest gaming platforms with 4K and 60 frames per second performance, resulting in stunning visuals across all visual elements, including 2D character art, 3D models, background designs, and the UI. Additionally, characters, side stories, dialogue lines, and voiceover scenes have been added. All animations, including the opening scene, have been remastered, bringing the players to the emotional feeling of Persona 3 in a more vivid way. So they're clearly saying here 4K 60 frames per second. Obviously, that would be docked performance and not portable, since the screen is not 4K. I would definitely expect 60 frames per second in handheld mode as well, but with a lower resolution. You can play Raido Remastered right now on Switch 2, which is ATLUS's latest game on the platform, and that runs at 60 frames per second, very stable on the Switch and held. Of course, it's a PlayStation 2 remastered. It's not this big remake of a PlayStation 2 game, but I would still expect that game to run at 60 frames per second, as it says here on the official Nintendo China website. Nathan did share with me, he's more familiar with these sites, share with me that sometimes they get information and they copy paste it for the description of games from other sources. I tried and find this exact text on other websites by doing some Google searches, and I was not able to find that. So I do think this is indeed the description and performance that we should expect here on the Switch 2, especially since this information is on the official Nintendo website. But when you look at the Sega page for Persona 3 Reload, there's no other details. So when it comes to frame rate and resolution, I would take that with a grain of salt, just in case the information's wrong. But I do think it's very accurate at the moment, and I will correct the information if I have to when it comes to the performance if I am wrong here, if the website is false here. So this is all the information that we have when it comes to Reload. The game is really good, y'all. The game is very solid. I have multiple videos talking about Persona 3 Reload, so you can check that out if you want. But the added voice acting is great. The content in the game is great. I definitely think it is the best way to experience Persona 3 in modern age, regardless of people are going to tell you there is missing content that is in the portable version of the game, which is on PlayStation Portable. That's also available on Switch if you want to check that out for yourself, but it's a visual novel stuff. The female main character that you're missing out on for Reload isn't that big of a deal in my opinion, so I highly recommend you check it out if it looks interesting to you. And this was my before you buy, here's everything you need to know guide on Persona 3 Reload. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more videos like this for your RPGs, I made a bunch for a lot of RPGs, not just ATLUS stuff, so you can check that out. I have a playlist on the channel. Otherwise, consider subscribing. If you want more, I would appreciate that. A thumbs up if you like the video is a big help. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.